there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the latest episode of what is it that I usually call it? My online extravaganza? No, I've suddenly forgotten. Well, but welcome to the live stream. I'm just trusting that I hit on the drum for long enough to get us past the adverts at the start of the extravaganza. Can everyone hear me? Just making sure. Saying hi first or housekeeping first. Hi there. If you are listening to this live stream, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month, thank you for your eyes and your ears. I appreciate that massively. Aside from that, along the housekeeping direction, if at any point tonight you really love what you're hearing and seeing, please leave me a smiley thumb. If at any point you kind of don't like what's going on, leave me a frowny thumb. If at some point you decide you want to take an active or a more active role in supporting the channel, then please check out the join button down below. I have 2 tiers, and the descriptions are on the page that shows up when you click on that button. I'm not so good at that whole join button discourse thing yet, but it'll come. So tonight, here's the thing about wooden spoons. They're not really a fire and forget thing the way most cutlery is. If you have a spoon that you use a lot, you may need to take some care of it. I have several spoons that are in need of attention. Not all of them, though. I'm looking over the spoons right now. They don't all need too much attention, but I'm just going to sort of give them all. I'm going to at least look at them and see what is being done. What I've got is I always treat my spoons with tongue oil. I like tongue oil because it does cure, so it adds a certain degree of protection that just mineral oil won't. Excuse me, because mineral oil doesn't cure. That being said, mineral oil is really good for keeping the wood from drying out and splitting as well. So there is protection there. It's not the same as something that cures, like a tongue oil, or I think walnut oil does as well. But I don't use nut oils because I don't want to pass a spoon to someone or sell a spoon to someone who's allergic to nuts, and I end up sort of unaliving them. I do also feel the need to say before we go any further that tea is a good drink, whether or not you are Russell. What do I have here tonight? I have all the spoons. All the spoons. I have the household spoons here, which I will go over and likely at least oil the vast majority of them as we chit chat. I've got my tongue oil. I got a very, very small piece of sandpaper because over time you may end up having to sand one of your spoons a little bit. If one of them I'm looking for one that's doing it. Like if they start to get a little fuzzy, then it's a good idea to just really lightly sand it to get the fuzz off and then put your oil on. I don't know why, but I also have my carving tools here. I think I've shown you guys my carving tools, so maybe I don't have to do that, but I have had the carving tool discussion with a couple of you online in other venues. I have a scotch for a dram later. Now this is a 10-year scotch, so what is it that I always say? A year in the glass, a minute in the glass per year in the cask. So I'm going to pour that now and let it sort of sit there in the Glencairn while we speak. There we go. This is an Arran 10-year-old, and this is actually, it doesn't look like this anymore. This bottle and these liveries are at this point kind of historical, and I'm glad because this is like the most 1994 looking bottle ever. It looks much better now. Apparently Arran changed the casks they use or something for the new one, so I'm looking forward to tasting the new one. I'm about to cough, so I'm going to mute myself. Excuse me. And for beer, I have Rut Ladian. This is by what the hell is that distillery called? Brasse Par. Oh my land, it's dark red on black. Cabane à sucre Constantin. So this is made by a sugar shack. I was there at the weekend. We bought a sugar shack meal. So I went to pick it up out in Saint Eustache. So a couple of hours on the road for a supper that we'll eat next weekend. Do I have anything else to catch y'all up on? Using my Ukrainian knife tonight, which is apropos for the age we seem to be living in. Excuse me, folks. Okay. I shall pour the beer, and then I shall say hi to everyone who has elected to join us tonight. Let's see if I can. Now, I don't know if Serge is here, but if he's here, I'm going to totally blow this pour. The thing about this beautiful little glass is that I don't know if I'm blowing the pour until it's halfway up the glass already. Let's see. We're all going to discover together, folks, whether or not I blew the pour. I did not blow the pour. Ugh. That means Serge probably isn't here, right? Okay, so here we are. So as we chit chat tonight, I am going to do my spoon care. I may show you a couple of spoons that I find interesting. Maybe there's no such thing as an interesting spoon, but the ones that, like, there are certain ones that I made a specific way for a certain use kind of thing, and I'll tell you about that. I also have some here that I did not make, and there's one or two here that are machine made. Excuse me. Excuse me about that. All right, so who's with us? Tenenbaum was up first. Nice to see you. Tenenbaum owns one of my spoons. Baum, do you own two of my spoons at this point? Someone has a pair. I think it's you, but let me know if I'm wrong about that. In the Weblord, how's it going? He says, my wooden spoon is from the dollar store. I don't care much for it. Dollar store wooden spoons are, well, look, they're still wood, right? But there's all kinds of stuff that a dollar store wooden spoon can do that's like in the workshop, like in the kitchen for sure. But if you want to, like if you want to have some nice stuff in your kitchen, there's all kinds of stuff that a wooden spoon does well at in a workshop setting. So I mean, nothing wrong with picking up dollar store wooden spoons for that kind of context. David Evans in the house. Hi there, mister. Russell from Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin pops in to say he keeps a special wooden spoon under his pillow. That's weird. Yes. How many of you guys went to check out Dennis's live stream before coming here? I hope most of you, because he's talking about chaga tonight. So I will be watching that with massive interest tomorrow because I am terrible at finding chaga. So I'm hoping to get some tips. Charles and Anayin. See, Charles, because I speak French, I just anything that looks like it shouldn't be pronounced in English, I sort of throw a Quebecois or French thing on. So, like to me, that looks like Anayin. Let me know if I'm blowing that. But hi. Grace has store-bought wooden spoons. I've got store-bought wooden spoons. That's a store-bought wooden spoon. You know, one of the where's the other one? the hallmarks of store-bought wooden spoons is that they are utterly flawless, right? Because they're machine made. So they're absolutely flawless. But like they're made from slabs of wood that are designed to get the most spoons out of a piece of wood, right? So I mean, look, this is a stirring spoon, so it doesn't have to have any sort of contours to it, right? But like for a serving spoon, like there's ergonomics that come into play, and the thing about something like this is you cannot make this if you're trying to maximize, the chunk of wood to spoon ratio. Excuse me. That awesome thumbnail from a few weeks ago was Russell's work, not mine. I don't have time. I would love to make um a custom thumbnail for each episode, but like by the time the kids are fed and stuff, I come running down here, slap everything on, and hope to heck I'm starting on time. Oh, as I said, I come running down here and slap everything on and hope for the best. Boom, boom. Savage Highway, welcome to the live stream. How's it going? I'm unsure if you've been here before. I hope you enjoy the conversation, and I hope that you get along with everyone here. It's a good group of people we have. Speaking of good people, there's Canadian walking in with a wooden spoon in hand. Sharon, hi. Just taking a look. Did Russell make a one for one? I'm trying to remember how many of my thumbnails Russell's actually made. I think it's one or two, isn't it? Everyone's still saying hi. Oh wow, that tells you how late I am here, because there is me going on like at 9 to say that I was going to be a little late. Just taking a look here. Okay, that's my screaming toddler discussion. Marcus in the house, Lipstick Lodge in the house. Nice to see you guys. Wow, Dauber is here. Oh, hi, Dauber. Nice to see you. Oh, thank you, David, for putting up the link for the membership info. That's nice. Carol's here. How's it going? Dauber's being a funny guy. Oh, I should actually clarify that, because he's just being a funny guy, but some people really do when I say tongue oil. They're expecting it's TUNG oil. Huile d'abrassin. What the hell's an abrassin? Now, one thing about this oil that I feel the need to mention at some point in any discourse I have about this oil is that it is as dangerous as boiled linseed. Okay, your rag, your paper towel, your steel wool, any of that, be damn careful about discarding it, because it can spontaneously combust. I did a very short video about that because I had a paper towel in my little hobo stove, and it just sort of burst into flame. I put it in there after using it to see if it would combust, and after several hours it did. I do not name my spoons, but I do number them. This was the 7th one I made. Everyone in the house. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone who's popped in and not saying hi to. Yes, Tenenbaum does have 2. Yeah. Yeah, one from our meeting in Ottawa, right. One day, maybe you'll just have a whole set. Sharon wants to make some wooden spoons, but she's not sure that she's talented. Dude, all it takes is agonizing effort. Oh, here's another machine-made one. You make a few and they suck, and as you do more and more of them, they start to become what it is you want them to be. And at the end of the day, this spoon I did not make. This one was gifted to me because the man who carved it did not feel that it was good enough for him to sell. See, it's not like perfectly symmetrical, and there's like his hand sort of, or his knife dug in right here while he was carving. And you know what? If he hadn't said anything, like if I'd just seen a bunch of like handmade wooden spoons in a thing in one of those like the decor stores, the trendy decor stores, I would never have noticed that. Never. Right? And so don't be your own worst enemy. Look at your spoons with a critical eye, say, okay, I know what to do. But beware of the fact that where you see nothing but mistakes, other people just see a beautiful spoon. And I don't want the spoon to be perfectly symmetrical because that's what the machine made ones are for. Right? So to me, this spoon is not symmetrical, but I would have given the guy serious money for this if he hadn't just given it to me. Absolutely. So Sharon, get yourself some tools. Get yourself some wood. I work almost exclusively in birch. This one is spalted birch. This one is non-spalted birch, almost exclusively in birch. I think the only non-birch spoon I have made in years, I think, is at Russell's place. And that one is, I believe, applewood, but birch is amazing. It's terrific. Sharon, I put up a video. It was a repost of an older video that I did where I sort of went through all the steps, and I don't think I described the tools though. Like maybe I have to do an episode where I go through the tools. I have some new tools that I'm looking to review, so maybe I'll do another video soon. Carol is in Dennis's channel. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. Kelly Simmons, how's it going? Nice to see your name popping up in the side chat. Welcome to the live stream. Uh-oh. Linda blew a Guinness pour last night. It didn't open right, squirted and shot out of the can, center hole. Then the tab wouldn't come off. Whoops. With Guinness, what I would usually do if I'm about to blow the pour, I just put it down and wait for it to settle and then take it up again. Charles, you've collected around 25 like wooden spoons down there? That's cool. I'd like to see those at some point. Somebody brought me a spoon from Romania. There was there's a lot of wooden spoons being made there, but it was just a machine-made spoon too. It's in the workshop, I think. I just keep it as something to look at when I'm making my spoons to see. Here's what I don't want to make. Oh, but it's got a nice element here, kind of thing, you know. Hey, Kristen Grounds is in the house. How's it going? Nice to see you. Stacy too. We got a great group here tonight. Come on, guys. Look at that. Look at all these names. I'm just, I think I said, Savage Highway, I did say hi to you, right? Did I? I have a mind like a steel sieve. I don't remember. Just in case I didn't, hi, welcome to the stream. Canadian is congratulating Stacy on the lean-to she made. I believe I like to cut one or two of Stacy's TikToks today. Making a nice fire and stuff. Country boy trapped in the city is asking me what the topic is. I will show you what the topic is, Holmes. The topic is all these damn spoons that I need to sand and oil up tonight because I haven't been doing my my kitchen utensil care. Next up, I have to resharpen all the kitchen knives. Absolutely. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. Tenenbaum. Bringing the dad jokes. Dad jokes. A little dad'll do. Yeah, longest quest in the house. How's it going? How's it going? Stacy's still got a lot of snow up there in the Yukon. Stacy, man, what the hell happened? The axe is for the wood, not the fingers. Yes, Russell, I agree completely. I absolutely prefer something that's got a little character to it. And in fact, this was my first spoon. Okay. Obviously, it's a pot stirring style spoon, but like, look at that. You know, that was because I couldn't. That weird curve was me knowing that I wanted a curved handle, but forgetting about the fact that you need a crook, right? Like this one has the curved handle, but then there's a crank to it. So this is useless as a serving spoon or anything. I mean, this can only be used to stir a pot. What I'm doing now for the pot stirring spoons, though, is that they're halfway between a spoon and a spatula, so that you can really sort of scrape along the bottom, as you can see. I made my mom a spoon once, and she never used it. She put it on on a shelf as a knickknack. I was like, Mama, you're supposed to use these things. She said, no, it's too nice. They're not too nice. They're tools. You use them. Loves the caboose on that spoon. I'm wondering which one he's talking about. This was my first eating size spoon. Okay, this one is so this was my prototype. See how it's cut straight across? Well, that tells you that it's new, because what I started doing after my first couple of spoons is they're all done on an angle now, like a curved angle. I see that as kind of a an identity thing for my spoons, and the angle always goes the same way. It's nice to have an identity thing on the spoons. It doesn't have to be anything like some people have. There's one guy who carves a little bird on each of them. Way too complex for me, and that can break off. Words to live by, country boy. Words to live by. Whoa! I got a super chat from Russell, but it's towards Scotch because there's no way he's putting money towards the Mac. Okay. I was having a conversation about that with some people at work. You know what? Let's put the beer aside for a little while. Get back to the tea. Speaking of tea, Linda's having a vanilla rooibos tonight. Nice. Yeah, okay, so I did. All right. Just making sure. Grace says, a wooden spatula could be useful. I made a crude one, but somehow it ended up in the campfire. The nice thing about these spoons and stuff is if you do take one camping and anything happens to it, like it gets snapped or something, it's just firewood. You know, you're not going to pollute by leaving it in the woods or something. You just toss it in the fire. Somewhere I have a full-on spatula that I did. I think it's in the workshop, so I'm not going to go and get it right now. But that was hard, man. That was really, really hard because I had to get it flat, you know? Russell's cabin is full of character. Okay, David, that's an excellent question, actually. What happens is, like, this one's furring up just a little bit. It's just over time, moisture, It makes the fibers sort of get furry. They sort of rise a little bit. Um, what I do to mitigate that in a big way is that when I first carve a spoon, okay, I carve it, I sand the ever loving hell out of it to get it nice and smooth. This one was done before I was sanding the underside of the bowls. Um, and then I wet the spoon so that the grain rises, right? I wet it, I let it dry. It dries with the grain risen, and then I sand it again back down to smooth so that when someone starts using the spoon, it doesn't do that because the grain has already risen. Because once you get water in the wood, it expands, okay, um, along the lines of the grain, but it doesn't go back to smooth as it dries. It sort of stays kind of rough feeling. So then I sand that off, and that's when I do my tongue oil. And I always do 3 coats of tongue oil with, you put 1 coat on, let it sort of sit there and soak in for an hour, wipe off the excess, let it cure for like 12 to 24 hours. Then you put on the next. So, carving one of these takes an afternoon, oiling one of these takes 2 more days, kind of thing. But yeah, so just with moisture and use, and as the tongue oil rubs off over use and time, they can get a little fuzzy sometimes. This is definitely getting that smooth, fuzzy feel. Some of the smoothness actually comes from burnishing as well, like as you use it. But what I've got here is definitely moisture fuzz. Like that's a real term, right? Sharon, I make spoons, and I sometimes, when I feel like hurting myself, I'll make a spatula. I kind of want to try making some kind of a fork, though. That'll be a challenge, but I want to try it. Yeah, I definitely want to try making a fork. I tried making a kuksa at one point, and that was an epic failure. So I want to do that. I want to try that again at some point. Country boy, curves are good, Jess. I know because I'm floofy. Savage. Okay, that's a really good question because to me, it's always going to be birch, 100% of the time. But um, anything, well, anything, yeah, almost anything that's a fruit wood is going to make a good spoon. Apple, pear. Um, some people use maple. I find it that things like maple are really hard on your hands and your tools, but some people do it. Uh, some people make them out of. I've seen them made out of tulip poplar. I don't get really experimental with my wood choices because not all woods are food safe. I don't do a lot of spoons out of cedar. It's food safe, but it is resinous, and that could flavor your foodstuffs. This spoon is actually from cedar. My first spoon was made with cedar. Cedar is incredibly nice to carve, but this spoon's good. Maybe I made this in 2013. Still got a very light cedar, a very light cedar smell to it. The tongue oil has definitely helped mitigate any kind of leaching of the flavor or the resin, and also it's a really old spoon at this point. But yeah. Um, so, like, if you were looking to take up spoon carving, if you can find yellow birch, I've heard that that's better. I just take any birch I can find. I live in an area with several different kinds of birch, and it carves well, but it's kind of a hardwood, so um, it can really take some some abuse. Like, whereas if you're making your spoons out of, I don't know, balsam, not balsam, no, because that would be resinous as heck. Um, Basswood or something, yeah, it'll carb great, but it'll practically melt in your mouth, right? Shawnee says, by the way, hi. There's like 45 different types of spoons for the kitchen. You can never have too many spoons. I wish I had a better collection. Yeah. I think at the barest minimum, you need one. You need like a ladle. I gotta try to make a ladle at one point, actually. But yeah, you need like a ladle. You need some stirring spoons, something to scrape the bottom of a pot with. Like what else would you need? Just let me give me a sec. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I couldn't give you an exact like rundown of what kind of spoons you need for your kitchen, but I kind of feel that you're right that there are several different sizes and stuff, especially down when you get to the like condiment spoons and stuff like that, right? But yeah, a nice collection of spoons is a good thing to have. Just taking a look. Russell, I've definitely done that. Just make a pair of chopsticks because I'd forgotten my damn forks and stuff. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to check that later. Who we got? Who we got? I'm just seeing if I've missed anyone. Russell says, I need to have a few more beers so I can do some drunk spoon carving tool buying tonight. Russell, I'm going to do a review of those 2 spoon knives I bought. If you haven't actually drunkenly bought them yet, let's see what my experience with them is before you go spending money. Although I think it's $80 for 2 of them, so it's a terrific price. Like, well, except it's still $80, right? $80 is a bottle of scotch. In fact, this bottle of scotch is $80. So, maybe I'm being a little cavalier there. Outdoor Dauber is restarting. Okay. I got to get him on screen one day. He's got a lot of interesting. He's always doing some cool stuff. It's the end of a cup of tea. It's a sad, sad time. Oh. Oh no. David's credit card got taken away. Actually, that's an excellent comment from Kristen. She says to Russell, next time you make sushi at the cabin, your video should be you making chopsticks. Solid concept. Country Boy says that since he's in BC and surrounded by alder saplings, chopsticks are all around and handy as hell. Yeah, sure. Like, hey, hike with Mike in the house. How's it going, Mike? I said Mike. I didn't say hike for once. Nice, Jess. Nice. Hi, Russell.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Am I saying that wrong? I mean, it's the only French word I know. Am I saying it wrong?
No, you're saying it in Ontarioese.
Which means wrong.
Hey, there's a Franco Ontario in that province. Look at this comment from Cliff. I'm late, but not the Tina late. Even on the Discord today, everyone's like, morning, morning, morning. Then like hours later, Bettina says, afternoon. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if yeah, Grace, I tried to make a slotted spoon once and completely shattered it. So I'm going to try again at some point. Because I don't use power tools, getting those slots can be a real chore.
That seems like something you just use a drill for, maybe?
I have one of those egg beater drills.
Oh, no, well, maybe a drill press?
Yeah, but then I'm using power tools. Well, I guess, you know what? I'm not a purist. Like, I'm not against the idea of using a scroll, not a scroll saw, the bigger one, a band saw to cut out your blanks and stuff. So I guess maybe I could just use my drill press. I like what Hike with Mike says here. Since cardboard is a wood-based product, I thought I would try to carve a cardboard spoon. It didn't work out good though. I wouldn't use that for soup.
You might get the basic shape down, but
Yeah, and as soon as you're using it for soup, yeah, absolutely. Lipstick Lodge says, I use rubber spoons in the trailer, purple, green, and blue ones. They tolerate heat and scrape pans well. You mean like those silicone ones?
I've got a silicone spatula, which I love to death. I use it all the time.
Yep, I have one too.
Not so good for a cast iron pan, but they're good for like non-stick pans.
Right. Outdoor Dauber would do a sewing discussion one night. Yeah, Dauber made his own parka. And, Is it a parka? No. Dauber, what's that sweatery hoodie thing called that you made? It's Anyways, he made one.
Sweetie hoodie.
No, no, it's like a. Hike with Mike says everyone calls him Hike, so it's okay. Nice.
At some point, I got to ask you about this. Can you see that at all? Oh, it's too bright.
Of. What is it?
So it's called bamboo goo. City Girl bought it for doing the. Oh, you can't see that at all, can you?
Is that for bright. Is that a cutting board? Oh yeah, bamboo goo. Is that for like bamboo cutting boards and stuff?
All natural. Well, that's what she bought it for, is the bamboo cutting boards. But it says it works on all grains. But I got to read the ingredients on it at some point and see what's in there.
I'll look that up. Mike says he's just here for another 10 minutes, getting too old to stay up so late. Needs your 8 hours of sleep and vitamins in order to survive a day at work. Yeah, man, I understand you completely. Absolutely. Yes, wool anorak. Yeah.
Anorak, okay. Does that mesh well with like canvas tents and stuff? Like,
yeah.
That topic. I mean, you could do a whole night on sewing.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I know exactly where you're going, and I think absolutely, man, it would be cool to have Dauber talking about that, and see if I could get Camper Christina to come on and talk about her making her tents.
Yeah.
And I am dying to get my panel discussion series back up and running.
Yeah, when's that gonna happen?
Someday. A wooden bench scraper would be nice to have for scraping up dough, moving onions to the pan. I hate the feel of the metal one in my hand. Yeah, and that's why like my I make these pot scraping spoons that kind of look like they're half spoon and half spatula. They're great for like we have a non-stick rice cooker. I have some cast iron, right, and stuff. We have a stainless pan. I don't like stainless, but my wife does.
That's
anything with a flat bottom. That's good for.
I know what you're talking about. It's fingernails on a chalkboard. Not quite that bad, but
oh yeah,
the whole difference in textures. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dauber also made a double layer hammock. Oh, interesting.
For insulation, double layer.
I guess so. Dauber's gonna send me a pic through Signal. I will wait for that to come through, and then I will share the photo. It has not yet shown up. Okay, you go.
Same thing.
You do it. I have a maple cutting board, just oiled and waxed it today. I think the brand was called Clark's. You oiled it and waxed it. Yeah. What I like to do is every half year, I guess, I like to sand down. We've got one of those butcher's block style cutting boards upstairs. Actually, we haven't used it in about a year, but I used to when it was in use all the time. I used to give it a quick sand and then an oil up once or twice a year.
You know what? If I had the equipment here, I would make cutting boards. That sounds like a lot of fun. Milling the wood and then putting it together.
Absolutely. Oh, Country Boy Trap in the City says bamboo goo is a food safe sealant for wood. We use it for cutting boards and other food service products. Nice. Good to know. Linda's out to kill the generator again. I think, doesn't Linda go at it around the same time every one of my live streams? So she goes at like at 9:45 to 10 to turn off the Jenny.
Natural blend of beeswax, carnauba wax,
Carnival
soybean
wax,
oil,
yeah.
coconut oil, palm kernel oil.
That
That's
sounds
it.
pretty good to me.
Oh, but no animal products. I'm not sure if I can use this anymore.
It's okay. It's okay. You can just, let that one slide. Let your backbone slide. Shut up, Jesse. Oh, Shawnee's dad made her the cutting board. Nice.
That is nice.
Look at this. Sharon's father-in-law used to make spoons. We must have his carving tools around here somewhere. That sounds cool. I love like the passed down tools. I would take
You get
somebody's
excited.
past.
Yeah,
Huh?
you get excited when you're thinking about like antique wood carving
Mhm.
tools.
Absolutely. I think one of the best things I was ever given was my dad gave me his grandfather's mortise gauge.
Hmm.
Is that what it's called?
Sure,
Uh,
Mortise and Tenon, Mortise
yeah,
gauge.
like the gauge. Um,
Yeah, I don't know if
yeah,
that's actually what it's called, but I understand what you're talking about.
yeah. Um, I was so happy to get that because it wasn't a brand new one. It's funny because I had
Yeah.
just bought myself a brand new one from Lee Valley, and then this one showed up from my dad. Hey, I found this. It was my grandpa's. Enjoy. Guess which one I use? Right? Guess which one I use?
There, well, the tools made back then were just a different kind of tool. Like a not that they do different things, but they're just made differently, and some of them are just meant to last forever.
Yeah, the way I like to say it is, what I love. I especially say this a lot about axes. Is that one of the reasons I love tools from like 40 years ago and up? Like anything, like right into the 70s, I guess. But really, for me, the peak is like mid-century. Is that back then, making a great axe wasn't called making a great axe or a great tool. It was just making a tool,
Yeah,
Whereas making a high-end version of the tool, or I mean, a version that doesn't suck. That's a that's an industrial age thing or a post-industrial thing, right? Where everything is made cheaply. So making a really good mortise gauge or knife or axe or saw is something special, whereas that just used to be the way you did it. You know, I'm
yeah.
gonna be oiling these up as we talk because I realize I'm just letting this slide. So
Good night, Mike. Thanks for coming out.
yeah, Mike is out. All right, see you later, Mike.
So David says yes, mortise gauge or marking gauge.
Marking gauge is the word I was looking for, but it was one. It was the mortising one. It's got like the double pins on one side.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Dauber says, can he drop a YouTube link? Can he? Oh yeah, you're a mod.
I think he's a
Go for
mod.
it.
If you're a
Yeah, go
mod,
for it.
drop it.
Drop it
And
like it's hot. But put in a little description first and open a
yeah,
new tab and crap like
yeah.
that.
Tell them to right click and select open in a new tab. Just let me
But a
put this.
little info before the link so that people don't like, what's this weird link?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one oiled spoon.
Spoon. See,
Spoon.
I brought my spoon for the
You got your spoon. Yeah,
live stream. I
that's a
keep it
nice
under
one.
my pillow at night because you never know when you're gonna get like attacked by vampires who are afraid of wooden spoons.
Or like a big vat of yogurt or something.
Just ooh,
Oh,
vampire.
take that, you vampires. Big green moose. Big green moose. Welcome to the live stream. I melt up a batch of. Hold on, let me click it. No, I just got oil all over my mouse. I melt up a batch of beeswax and food grade mineral oil to make a great all around conditioner for my cutting boards. Also great on leather and spoons. Yes. I'm dying to try that actually.
Didn't you say something about mineral oil earlier?
Yeah. I use mineral oil on my my blades, like the metal part of my tools, because it's well, I mean, because you can use pretty much any oil on your tools, but I want to use something food grade because I never know when an axe or a knife is going to get called into spoon carving duty. So I use mineral oil because it's simple, it's food grade, it doesn't there's no flavoring or anything, but it doesn't protect the way tung oil does because it doesn't cure. But when you're waxing as well as oiling, like when you're treating with a wood, a wax and oil mix, that can give you a really nice effect. There's another one nice and oiled up. Like if I was to use mineral oil, I would want to mix in some sort of wax. Big Green Moose, do you have a recipe that you follow, or do you do it by feel? Country Boy is telling Russell that when you build your shop, get a small planer and jointer. With those two tools, a table saw and a bunch of clamps, you can. Yeah, I would love a planer, a jointer. Absolutely love.
If I was, hold on.
What?
That's my phone.
That's your phone?
If I was going to go that route, I'd have to get some kind of mill to actually process the wood first. And not just an Alaskan chainsaw. I don't want to sit there for like hours with a chainsaw cutting boards. But
the Alaskan mill kind of thing?
Like a real, like I don't want the Alaskan chainsaw mill. I would want a real mill.
But well, you've got room for one, right? So like, yeah.
Like, I got a little room out here, 180 acres. I can really find a spot for a proper mill.
Yeah, for me, it would have to be the Alaskan mill because I don't have any room. By which I mean I don't have anywhere. But like I've been told that's the Alaskan chainsaw mill is an excellent way to end up really tired at the end of a day.
Well, tired and like you're sitting there with a chainsaw for like several hours. If you want to cut a few boards, so your arms are like shaky afterwards, and your hearing's all freaked up.
Yeah,
we're still monetized.
Saved at the very last second.
But but only if I got everything else here done, which is never going to happen. So
right, but I mean, it would help you to finish some of that stuff, wouldn't it?
No,
not
really. Look, Sam Jackson's here for some reason.
Sam Jackson in the house. He's not AWOL tonight. Nice.
Yeah, what happened, Sam?
If I'd known Sam Jackson was here, I would have poured the Alberta Premium instead of the Aaron 10.
Yeah, I think you poured that way more than. How old is that?
10.
Yeah, you poured that way more than 10 minutes ago.
I know, but I mean, I have a beer to finish and stuff, and it doesn't hurt to let it sort of sit there and
it's so old. It's got grand Scotch kids now. That was terrible, wasn't it? That wasn't funny.
I was gonna say there's probably a lot of grand Scotch kids in this world anyway. So check this guy out. Oh, yuck! Oil all over my desk. Great. The reason why this one is so long is because I made this one for my wife's travel mug when I make her coffee in the morning.
Mm.
Right, and because it's one of those tall mugs, so this way I could get down to the bottom and stir the sugar and stuff. Because a little forethought, a little planning. It is a weird looking spoon though because of that length, but it works well. So I'm just thinking about what was said earlier about 45 different kinds of spoons in the kitchen. This is a specialist spoon that I would never have been able to find just at IKEA.
If you get enough spoons, you're going to be like, well, this spoon I use for picking up 9 grains of rice. This spoon is for 10 grains of rice.
This... And if it's short grains versus long grain, I mean, that could be 2 completely different spoon sizes.
That's a whole new set. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm talking myself into a bustling business of carving spoons. I don't carve them. Like, I do know people who make their living carving spoons, and I could never do that because I'm just not fast enough. Like, these guys get it down to like 20 minutes a spoon kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. I can see that. But like, if you got nothing else going on, you just want to sell spoons.
Yeah.
You do it all day long and don't do anything else.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys will also, like, they'll teach classes and stuff because you'll make a lot more money in a day teaching 9 people to carve spoons than you will carving an afternoon's worth of spoons, right?
Ooh, you know what? So Shawnee said she's seen wooden measuring spoons, but you know what that reminded me of is like if you did this properly, you could have this as a spoon and a measuring stick here. You know?
Yeah.
When would you ever need something like that though? I gotta measure something. Grab my spoon.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
I know
That's
what she
more.
meant though. She's talking about measuring.
Yeah. Measuring spoons, but marking inches or whatever, that would be really useful on an axe handle more than a spoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
On a lot of things, probably. Now that I think about it.
A ruler, for instance.
Underwear.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't have gone there, but you did.
Sorry, it's your live stream. That's.
It's everybody's live stream. It's like the universal live stream.
I wonder what they're on my live stream.
That's why you come to mine. All the stuff that you never say on your own, you just swing by here. Hold on. I'm trying to not miss everything here. But with all those tools, all you need is an imagination and you're good to go. I wish I had the space for a planer / jointer. If I did, I wouldn't need a day job. Yeah, we think similarly in some ways, I think.
Oh, it's so yeah.
She says, I'm trying to be on the main road here to get a shot of a huge green logging truck that plows through here. My great nephew would love it.
So Linda obviously doesn't go offline when she turns off her generator.
Yeah. I think Linda must have a battery system or some damn thing. Oh, Shawnee just said that in canning, you have to measure headspace. So that would actually be a good use for having a measurement of some sort on the handle of the spoons.
Oh, right. It took me a moment. Headspace. I get it. Between the goop and the lid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's a little spoon that I did not make. It's from olive wood. I don't know if you have to treat olive wood, but I've just thrown a bunch of oil on it. So
baby, can we see that again?
You know what it is? It's a salt spoon. Right?
Wouldn't it be fun to make, sometimes they make baby spoons and they're usually like stainless steel or something like that, but or even gold plated, but wouldn't it be cool to just have a hand carved spoon?
Hilariously, I actually do a pretty brisk business in hand carved baby spoons.
Do you?
Yep. Well, I used to when I was doing this more seriously. Now I don't. But yeah, I've done about 8 or 9 of them.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, except that again, people don't use them. They're like, "Oh, we can't use it. It's too nice." I'm like, God, just use the damn spoon. If it gets ruined, I'll make you another one.
Well, I kind of get it because they want to put it in with their, the baby book and the baby stuff and the.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, you're thinking about it's the same as that gold plated or silver spoon that goes. Okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I was just thinking about like baby size.
The first lock of hair and the all that kind of crap.
Yeah, all that garbage.
Crap. It's not garbage.
I'm being curmudgeonly. Don't bother me.
All right. So Kristen says, "Have you taught your kids to carve?"
Not yet. I've started with Camille. Where's my lid? I've started with Camille. Very, very basic things like carving tent pegs and stuff like that. Just as a way of doing, like, we're doing basic knife skills right now. I'm never gonna get all this oil off my mouse. But like
beer, or rum and coke.
Yeah, but no, now it's tongue oil. Yeah, just sort of like basic knife skills right now. And if she decides she wants to carve a spoon, then I'll help her. I have this like little iPhone video that I took of her when she was about 4. I was carving a spoon, and then right up next to me, she's using a small piece of wood, holding it like a knife, and like carving a spoon out of another piece of wood. So I mean, I
She's
guess
probably a little young.
yeah. But yeah, if she decides she wants to carve spoons, then I'll help her out.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be better at it than me.
For folks east of Toronto looking to Durham Woodworking Club, membership includes use of a great shop with table saw, band saws, joiner, planer, etc. It's in
Nice.
the Schwa.
Nice. I would love to find something like that around here.
That's not a bad idea. Joining a woodworking club where they got all the tools. You bring in some wood and.
Here in Montreal, there are two co-ops that are in sort of big old factory buildings. And when you buy into the co-op, there's a workbench for you to use and stuff, and they have communal tools and everything. But the problem with buying into a co-op like that would be that I would feel compelled to go every week and be working on stuff to justify the monthly fee or whatever it is.
I wouldn't buy into a co-op. Just join a club.
Shawnee says a wooden butter knife would be excellent for teaching my toddlers knife work in the kitchen. Yes, it would. I made a butter knife once. I didn't like it very much, but somebody really did, so I gave it to them. I don't think I did the design properly. I have an alternate design for a butter knife now that I would do if I ever had time to carve.
You could probably make a lot of butter knives out of a single chunk of wood.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think it would be fairly simple to do because a butter knife should be simple. Like, you know,
you're just spreading,
just spread. What you doing? I'm spreading. Spread. Are we caught up with the chat? Nice. Very nice. I have oiled all the spoons. I did not have to sand any of them. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to let them dry until tomorrow, do another coat, let them all dry until the next day, do another coat. Yes, they could use it with Play-Doh as well. Play-Doh is excellent for teaching young kids simple knife, like kitchen knife skills, Play-Doh or a banana or something, where they can use something really blunt and still practice the moves.
I'm going to oil up my spoon off screen.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, look who hears. Oh, my land. What I meant was look who's here. Richard Dennis.
He hears. Well, I'm sure he hears.
Yeah. I'm sure, yeah.
He does.
Yeah. See that? See what I just did there? Nosing. See? You want me to do a little review?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's like a moment for my other channel. Okay, so for the Iron 10, what you're going to get on the nose right off the bat is sort of a green apple. Maybe not a green apple, like not a Granny Smith or a Macintosh, but something crisper, lighter. Maybe like a golden delicious or something like that. Then right after that, there's going to be some caramel or butterscotch. That vanilla caramel flavors, they're going to come from the American oak because almost all scotch is aged in ex-bourbon casks. And that gives it a vanilla thing. It's got a cool, fresh thing. Kind of almost an ocean side, but not in a briny way. I mean, like a fresh breeze sort of way. So if I take it to the palate, if I'm going to be a snob about it. Big hit of spice, like baking spice, nutmeg, cinnamon. Then boom, that caramel hits. And then dancing on top of that green apple comes in a lot stronger, and a bit of a green grape as well, or maybe a raisin. On the finish, it sort of trails off, mostly to the spice and the caramel or vanilla. Bit of brown sugar across the top.
Just, I don't know if you could be making all that up, but you're really good at that.
Well, the thing about doing stuff like this is nobody is really wrong. If they taste, if I gave you a dram of this and you got completely different, like if you detected a hint of orange in there, you're not wrong because it's completely subjective. It's what do you taste? Now, the notes I just gave are not rare for the Aaron 10. I didn't really go into the brown sugariness very much, but it's because I wasn't like I was just sort of rolling it off, right?
That was delightful. You sold me on it. I want to try it sometime.
I'll tell you what, this the Aaron 10 hits way, way, way above its price point. It was Ralphie.com's whiskey of the year last year because it's so much better than its price would tell you. I think it's an $80 bottle. Easily tastes like 110. You know what I just reminded myself of? Did you ever used to watch Kids in the Hall?
A little.
I just had this flash of two of the guys that they're doing a skit that's like a supper. It's after supper. I'm not sure if it's the Big Pussy Boyle sketch, but they're eating cake and they're saying this cake is good. And one of them says, "Yeah, this cake is so good that it's 2 layers and it tastes like 3." Do you know the sketch I'm talking about?
I don't, but I can picture them doing it.
Yeah, because that's exactly the kind of lines that they would come up with. Hold on a second.
That's really beautiful, though. That was really beautifully done, Jesse. You should do that for a living.
I should.
You should be that guy. The guy who was the captain of the Queen's Guard who retired from that and went on to tour the world talking about Scotch.
If I could get paid to tour the world and talk about Scotch, I would do that.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Like, first they have dinner, and then now we're on to dessert, and then he gets up and he starts talking about Scotch.
Yeah. Sam is gonna get himself some whiskey. I support you, Sam. I support you on that.
I was like, we're gonna go right out and get that bottle of Scotch. That sounds amazing.
Well, he's got a bottle of whiskey there. It's not Scotch, but it is whiskey. Country Boy says, "Man, I wish I could drink Scotch. It's a cool experience if you do it right." Are you not drinking whiskey because you're off the alcohol, or do you just not have a Scotch around? Kristen, my other channel is a whiskey channel. It's a very small channel because I only started it because of COVID. But yeah, so I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I was waiting for Dauber to come around with that because he took the piss out of me for a couple of my earlier beer reviews when I used to do a beer review at the beginning of every live stream.
I gotta do a parody of that. I gotta watch this again tomorrow and do a parody of that for my next video.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a beer like that. In fact, I'll probably just say exactly what you said. Word for word. I'll do word for word what you said. We'll see.
That'd be amazing.
Wait, I gotta go out and buy some beer.
Right. Kristen is drinking Scotch. Whoops. Kristen is drinking Scotch. Nothing like that since you're drinking Clan McGregor. Clan McGregor. Never even heard of it. Is it like a blend?
I gotta back up. I know Scotch, and this is a bit backwards, but that under $10 a month to join a woodworking club is awesome. Like, why wouldn't everybody do that?
That is good.
You get to go in there and use tools, and you get probably all the help you want.
Yeah, that's a great price. Makes me wish I was in Oshawa.
In the Schwa.
Because I mean, that's the reason to move somewhere, right? I'm looking for Clan McGregor and I'm not finding it. Clan McGregor. Oh, Clan McGregor Scotch.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. Clan McGregor, it's a blended Scotch. Okay. Smooth and mellow, award-winning flavor of Clan McGregor. I have never seen a bottle of that in the wild. Okay, so Big Green Moose is a member of that club, evidently. Got just under 200 members. So, like, do all 200 of you guys get together and carve together, or do you have small groups get together, or how does it happen? And just because, of course, we're not surprised, Dennis is chowing on the Doritos.
Dennis, you're into the Doritos.
Tell us you're at least having a little bourbon on the side there. Hey, which reminds...
Did you sprinkle some chag on those Doritos anyway?
Little chag of powder. I just realized I've still got some beer. I do want to mention to all and sundry that after tonight's live stream, I'm going to be doing a dry week until after the next live stream. I do it every few months just to reset my palate for the other channel and to remind and to test myself, just to make sure I'm not slipping inadvertently into onto the wrong side of alcohol.
Do you notice he said until after the next live stream, where I would like to try and convince Jess that 165 hours is not that much less than 168 hours.
Yeah. By the way, I want to show this is the anorak that Dauber made. I'm gonna dim my oops, I dimmed my screen way too much there. I like to dim the screen because it seems to show up better. Come on, fool. Wait a minute. Why don't I just... I have signal on this computer, don't I? Signal. Now I'm going to open it up and it's going to, like, update. Oh, no, it didn't. Sweet. Oh, update available. Click to restart signal. No. Not going to do it. Okay. So here's the anorak that Outdoor Dauber made. I'm going to make the picture large. And I'm going to... Oops. I shall share the screenage so that you guys can see. So there you go. There's the the anorak that Dauber made, and I believe that was from 1 or 2 U.S. Army wool blankets. Do I have that right, Dauber? Russell, Sam Jackson says to make sure to get Willow and Junebug's review comments as well.
Sure will, Sam.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think that's good work. I wish that I could. I say I wish I could pull that off. I probably could if I had the sewing machine and the time and the wherewithal. I just love seeing somebody having made that. That's not that's not something punched off of an assembly line. That's some guy, well, in this case, Dauber, sitting there, planning it out, cutting it out, sewing it together, and look at that work.
That's nice. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I love the color. Terrific. Absolutely terrific. So, can I take it off, or are you guys still getting an eyeful of the excellent work? Let's leave it up for another minute or two.
Yeah, I'd buy one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, I think it's terrific. Yep, David... Hey, Kristen says, yeah, it does look warm. I would put a light canvas thing over it, I think, because wool is not... Actually, Dauber, how is it at keeping out the wind? Because in my experience, wool, is great for thermal properties, but I want something light over it to break the wind. Country boy, you've got a bottle of Glenfiddich 12-year-old that has about a half ounce out of it. I'm sure it's no good now after 3.5 years. Yeah, it's still perfectly good. Look, if your bottle if your bottle is like up here, it'll last forever. Especially if you like seal the top with some tape or something. If your bottle is down around here, finish it. But if it's up here, no, it'll last years and years and years, practically forever.
It's the high alcohol content. It's
1.5 blankets. Okay. Yeah. Terrific work.
Unless the alcohol like evaporates, it should be good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Drink it.
I am, but I mean, like, I can make, if I'm not online and being an internet personality, I can make that last an hour. Because half the enjoyment is the sniffing.
I was like, I'm not actually going to drink it.
You look at it. Look at those legs. Look at those legs. Yes,
Yep.
Yeah. Angel's tears. Just a hint, just a little bit of spice of regret, but generally the sweet taste of joy, of religiosity.
Religiosity.
I don't know. I'm making fun of myself now.
I like a drink that makes me temporarily forget all of my regrets.
Yep.
Just wash them all out.
Just wash them all away. It's funny because I try to live a no regrets lifestyle because I can't change any of the stupid shit I've done. Any of the stupid shift I've done. But if I'm like feeling it, if I'm bedridden, if I'm bedridden with like nausea or a headache, for some reason, feeling that way brings all of my regrets right into my head. And I guess just to make me feel even better about myself or something.
As much as people will tell you, you can't worry about your regrets. You can't let them bother you. My regrets bother me all the time.
Yeah, mine too. And I've done a lot of stupid shift in my time, so I got some that and they just wait till I'm feeling all nauseous or I got a wicked headache or something, and then they just like, let's get him, boys, let's go. Right now I'm regretting tongue oiling all those spoons without proper ventilation because it stinks in here. It absolutely stinks in here. Hey, Raven is in the house. Howdy, partner. Let me see.
Jim.
Wait a minute, Sam. Half the fun is the sniffing. That's what she said. Is that a joke? Maybe not. Hee. I'm not sure what you're getting at there, mister.
Well, he's saying that half the fun of your scotch drinking is sniffing.
Okay. So it wasn't like and the self-censorship comes in. Never mind. We're just going to move right along.
Well,
I guarantee what I was about to say was going to get my ass demonetized like you would not believe. So let's just move right along.
It's you know what? It's perfectly safe to ignore potential innuendo. That's my theory.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I must become better at that, in fact. Ignoring innuendo.
Potential innuendo. We could talk more about spoons.
Yeah, so again, so look, I've rolled them all up. I have some of my scoom. Yeah. Okay. Start again. I have some of my tools here, because I didn't remember, Russell, have I talked about the tools in a previous, like specifically the spoon carving tools in a previous live stream or not?
In a previous live stream?
Yeah.
Like probably. You certainly talked about it in your video. Your spoon carving. at least one of your spoon carving videos. But talk about it again, because I mean, this is what this live stream is about.
Right. Okay. So this right here, this is my main spoon carving knife, like the Sloyd knife. This is, if anyone ever says to you Swedish wood carving knife, they're talking about one of these. It doesn't have to be this brand. This is a Mora. Is this one Mora or Frost? I mean, it's the same bloody thing. Yeah, Eric Frost, Mora, Sweden. So it's a Mora. This is the 106, 109, 106. Okay. There is another one, which is, I think, maybe the 109, which is shorter. But this is your main knife. This is, I think, a $40 knife at Lee Valley. Okay. When I bought this one, it wasn't $40. It was like more like 28 or something. But life is way more expensive than it used to be. You don't need anything better than this. This knife for the price is bloody fantastic. Silly plastic sheath, but that's okay because it's just a carving knife. Okay. The sheath does have holes in it to let moisture out if you do get water in it. From I don't know how you would do that, but whatever. Beech handle. Excuse me. I think it's a beech handle. Beech or birch. I think it's beech though. A lot of your basic tools will have a beech handle. I would love to be able to tell you how long it is, but I didn't mark any measurements on the handles of my spoons.
Rats.
But I think it's a 3.5 or a 3.25 inch blade. I also have the mini Sloyd knife. This is not a Mora. This is by Ben Orford. Sheath by Lois Orford. Terrific little knife. And those, by the way, are terrific people. If you want to buy a knife and A, get a good knife, and B, be supporting real cool makers, Ben and Lois Orford are who you gotta go with.
Okay, can you show each of those again? And sorry, you might have another one, but can you talk about like what percentage of time you say to carve a spoon?
Should I then maybe go get the axes and backpedal to the start and go work all the way through?
Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. I mean, it's your live stream.
Yeah, but
yeah. Go ahead and do it.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'm curious. I really want to try carving my own spoons one day soon. In fact, I just got to order the stuff. And I think this is great too, because Jess sent me this spoon, and it's like even with its flaws, it's perfect. And the first spoon I want to make is going to be just like this. Or at least this is the design I'm going to go after. And it's probably not going to work, and then I'm going to try again, hopefully, and then I'm going to try again. I don't know if I have any apple wood out here, but certainly I've got birch. Not in abundance, but I do have birch. So we still have to. I'm waiting just to put on his headphones. We still have to. We're getting there. We still have to. Here we go. He's got his headphones on. Put them on there. Okay, he's got his headphones back on. Jess, we still have to talk about carving axes sometime. You gotta find me one.
Got you covered.
Right.
Now there's a lot of sharp things on this desk, so I will not drink any more alcohol until we're finished with this conversation. So, your first step is to get. You always start with a round that's about 4 inches, because you can get a bunch of nice chunks of wood out of that. And to get that down to something of about, I just pulled this out of the freezer a couple of days ago, down to about that size. Okay, that's you're going to use any sort of any good forest axe. I always use my small forest axe for that because it's a handy size, and anything bigger than this would be overkill. Okay, so you got that down to, you've split your little 4-inch in half to get it to this carving half of a round here. Okay, so to go from that to your very basic shape, like to go from that down to like a square chunk of wood, and maybe start very, very roughly with the shape, the general shape. You need this. You need. I use the Swedish carving axe by Grand Sears Brook, which is way too expensive now. When I bought it, it was a much better deal. This is the right-handed one, so it's
That's
flat.
such a beautiful axe.
Oh yeah, it's terrific. But I mean,
I
it's
love
like
that.
$300 now. It's no way. It's almost flat on this side, and it's a convex on this side. So it acts as a hewing axe. So in fact, if you find like a vintage hewing hatchet, you'll get the exact same performance out of that as this thing. Okay. What that does is that gets you starting to rough out your shape, the shape of the spoon, right? First, you're taking off like
The bolt.
you're taking off the bulk of the material, absolutely. And when you've got it down to like a spoon blank, I then put this knife, crumbs, this axe aside, and what I then use is my tiny little Wetterlings. Gransfors makes a dedicated carving axe in this size. Again, it costs the moon, but it's spectacular. This was way more affordable. Now, this is not your side axe, right? This is the same grind on both sides. And this is where I start carving. What I like to do is use the axe. Excuse me. I call it chopping right to the line, because what I will do when I've got my basic shape is I will draw my spoon on it, and I will use this little axe right up to the line. Some people will go to kind of close to the line and then use the knife, but the fun part is the axe part. Okay, so I like to use the axe to get right up to the line, do my spoon shape with the axe. Then that's where this knife is for your final shaping. Okay, of the convex on the bottom of the, well, I've oiled them all, so I'm not going to go grabbing one. The convex on the bottom of the spoon, right? The handles, the final, like the crank, that's all this. Okay. Where something this tiny comes in is, Russell, if you'll hold up your spoon, the part where the bowl curves into the handle, something like this is perfect for all that around where the bowl and the handle come, because it's real short, so you got all kinds of control, very rigid, and like you can just sort of hold it and just lightly, you can like this, right? Because it's a really small blade and you don't get chatter or anything. For the inside of the bowl, I like to use, I have an adze with a curved blade, which I forgot to get, but I'm not going to adze, but I don't have to show it because it is optional. What's not optional is one of these guys here. Okay, that's a spoon knife. This one was made by Alex Yerkes, who is not a blacksmith. He's actually a spoon carver, but he did a series with a blacksmith. It is imperfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than the Mora ones that I was trying to use before. And I've been over time grinding as I sharpen the blade into a better contour for me. And this is how you get that bowl, the inside of the bowl shape. So what some people do, you can burn the bowl shape in there if you're just out there in the woods and you just need a spoon. You just need a freaking spoon. You forgot all your damn cutlery and you need a spoon. You can just burn it out. But this will get you a much nicer effect. So, I mean, aside from that, sandpaper, as I said, the adze is optional. Mine was a gift from my dad. He used to carve in a group run by a fairly famous West Coast native carver. So all of my dad's carving tools are native. He's given me a few things, which is really cool, like a crooked knife and a few things like that.
Oh my God, can I start doing this now?
Yeah. Now you're good. But that's a very different carving tradition than what I use. I'm doing essentially Swedish carving. That's the tradition that I learned through books and YouTubes. My dad does, well, now he doesn't anymore, but he used to do native style. He's taken it sort of in his own direction now because being white, he didn't want to appropriate. But I mean, that's it. All it takes is a few tools and a lot of time. You could do away with the side axe. I wouldn't, because it's so good for your basic roughing, um, because that sort of flat side and convex side just helps you just pop great chunks of. Well, I mean, we've all seen videos of people hewing a log, right? It's essentially the same thing, but in miniature. I just want to make sure I'm not ignoring anyone. Oh, David put the link to my last spoon carving video, which is probably my best one. I've done a couple of them. That one's really the only one worth watching. Yeah, Stacy. That's the thing. That's why I bought the smaller knife, because I was having trouble as well. What I was doing up until then was with this knife, I would hold it real close to the top like that, just on the sides, making damn sure I didn't like grab around the sharp end or anything, and go real light. But honestly, it's safer to have a small Sloyd knife. I sent the link to Ben Orfer's website to somebody recently. I don't remember who. Russell, Country Boy, saying that you make a very good Vanna White. So it's good to know.
If I can make as much money as she makes for doing her job, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. That'd be great. Yeah, that would be amazing. But so those are the basic tools that I use. One other thing that I use is I have one of those Japanese pull saws, the whatever it's called. Not the Silky, but the workshop one, because what you want to do is where the bowl meets the handle, do some stop cuts in there, so that when you've got your chunk of wood, let's pretend I've got the bowl here, stop cuts here, and I'm popping wood off for the handle here. What those stop cuts do is, is this on camera? As I come down with the axe, it doesn't split off where I'm going to be doing my bowl, right? It splits off right until the stop cut, because it's interrupted. So yeah, a little saw work right where the bowl meets where you're going to have the handle.
I gotta find a better way to do
right
this.
There, yeah. Should just use some stringer or something and twirl it around.
Tired.
I saw a video today that was a tour of the Marcus Brownlee's MBHKD. Do you know what he does the tech reviews?
No idea. Oh, Marcus Brown. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Marcus.
Okay.
Anyway,
I know who he is, but I don't watch his stuff.
Okay. I don't watch his stuff because I feel he's TV 2.0, but I have watched his stuff before, and he is very bloody good. And what they did so that they could have, like, say they're reviewing an iPhone, like they do a lot of really cool sort of weird shots of, like, the camera will come around and then come down and up and all this stuff. And the way they do those shots is they got an industrial robot, but without the arm where it builds cars. They just put a camera on it. And he said that the reason they did that is because everyone's in their niche is going to review the iPhone 26 when it comes out. Everyone's going to do like a top-down shot. So they were looking for something that they could do that no one else could emulate. And so they bought a $250,000 robot arm just for those shots.
Well, okay, that's pretty ridiculous, but I'm not surprised at all. I mean, the video, I watched the Casey Neistat video where he's like, well, heading to Florida for Marcus Brown because he's he's flying a crew down there. He wants me to fly a drone.
Yeah.
Because they're renting a Lamborghini when they get there.
Yeah.
And it's like all this money spent. Like, what is he reviewing? It's not the car. It's the software tablet that goes in the car. Like,
really?
My God, are you serious?
Wow. Amazing.
So much money spent just to review the tablet in the car.
Yeah, but he makes bank though. Like, YouTube is, his studio apparently, like the rent for his studio is 30 grand a month American, right? And he's 100, like his money is YouTube.
Yeah.
David says he wants to buy a Japanese pull saw. Absolutely. The control you get on the pull is amazing.
Is Silky Japanese?
Yeah. Yeah. Russell needs more money. Look at that shit. Yeah, I know. Russell needs more money.
And this, hold on. The focus is off on my camera because my autofocus is off. What was it? This?
I guess he was saying that because you were. Yeah.
Or is it just me? I'm a great model. Like,
you're doing a great job there, Russell. Just terrific. Just terrific. Well, let me make this window bigger.
Get a nice steady spin. I can't do a nice steady spin though. My fingers just don't want to participate.
Damn those fingers. But yeah, so it's like I've lost the train of thought because you were twirling the spoon, which made me think of Marcus's robot arm for the camera stuff. And which, like, when I saw that, I was like, I've got to get one of those for my next knife review. As
long as you can program it to say "I love you,"
yeah,
then I'd have to.
Are you kidding? I would program it to say, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that."
What are you doing, Dave? Yeah.
For those of you who are out there in the real world, that was a film reference.
A film
reference.
But wouldn't it be cool if you got that robot arm and got it to hold a knife and just like every now and then just kind of stab erratically around itself?
Welcome to my lair, by which I mean office. Welcome to my office, by which I mean lair.
It's going to prepare food now. I'm going to throw cheese at it.
Yeah. Here's a pepper. Sam thinks that we're a couple of great guys. We're accomplished at everything. I'm especially accomplished at feeling bad about myself. So thank you, Mr. Sam.
Sam, would you like to see sometime all the character of my cabin?
It's funny because you've said a couple of times that there are some areas of character in your cabin, but all I see is a cabin that you built, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, well, you know why that is. When you come here, you're gonna be like, "Fuck." Oh shit! I did it. Oh damn it! Demonetized your live stream, but you did it first anyway.
Did I? Yes, I did. I absolutely did. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. I'll be happy to. It doesn't. A lot of the flaws don't come out on video, and sometimes it's just because I don't point my camera in that direction.
Right.
But again, even the plant area, there's so many spots where I'm like, oh, screwed up there, but you don't see it on video. But I'll point out all the flaws when you come here if you still make it.
Sam Jackson is making sure that everyone understands where we were going. I love that film. And, it's funny because I love that film, and yet there are aspects of it that I don't like, and yet I feel that I had this idea when I was in film school that actually I had it too late to do it in film school, but what I would have loved to do was recut that film to take out all what I thought was fat. Like, when the ship is coming in to dock at the space station, and like they'd never done that kind of shot before, so they really milked it for like 20 minutes. Like, I would have yanked that. I would have shortened the end, the end sequence, the sort of the hippie dream sequence and everything. And yet, when I say that to people, especially people who also went to film school, they're like, you do not mess with that. And so, like, I understand that as well.
I want to talk about that, but I gotta see Amanda better hearse. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay, I'll just sit here quietly. Nice to see that. Nice to see that you guys know exactly where we're going there. Yeah, that film is really seminal. I mean, that was a. I wonder what it was like to see that film opening week in, what was it, 1969 or something? Like, to be part of the first audience to have seen that film. Because by the time I was seeing films like that, like, my first big film experience was Star Wars in '77, and I was 5 years old. I was there opening week. I was 5 years old, you know, and that film pinned my ears to the wall. But, like, I wonder what it would have been like to have um, been of the generation to see 2001 and realize that you were seeing something brand new. You know, I see Dennis is letting me know that he's still here. Well, nice. I appreciate that, Mr. Dennis. There was something else I wanted to tell you guys about spoon carving before. Oh, Sharon's out. Okay, good night, Sharon. Everyone say good night to Sharon. She's off. Sleep well. Cozy Corner Cabin. Hi. Started doing maple sugar the last few days, and you're great with the 6. So maple sugar, like, I know the process for maple syrup, but what, do you just keep cooking it until it dries out, or do you, like, how do you get to the sugar from the syrup?
Yes, you keep boiling it down until you got nothing but crystallized.
Is that how you do it? Okay.
Maple syrup, yeah.
Interesting. I've often wondered how that happens. Well, you got to be careful, I guess, to make sure you don't burn it then, right?
I've never made it myself, but probably.
Yeah. So if it's a 40-1 for the syrup, it's got to be incredible for the sugar.
Probably.
Are you opening the pod bay doors?
Sort of. It's a Kilkenny with the nitrogen.
Good old, yep. Okay. Good old Kilkenny. Country boy says my first movie experience was Jaws at 8. Yeah.
Oh my God! Who takes an 8-year-old to see Jaws?
Yeah. That's a great film, though. But yeah. All right. See you later, Charles.
See you, Charles and Annalyn, if you're watching.
Yep. Have a good one.
Yeah. Yes. By the way, it's Annalyn.
Annalyn. Okay. Country boy, you just remind me. I have a friend who now I believe is a producer at HBO, and Jaws is his favorite movie.
Jaws is an amazing movie. It's like there's a lot of filmmakers like Shyamalan for example, who states that he saw Jaws and he was blown away. It's what made him want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, Jaws had that effect on many people.
I rewatched it recently, and I was just like totally blown away. It was what a fantastic movie.
It stands up. It stands up because it didn't depend on the effects to make the story work. Right.
Well, yeah. The story was they had a company making the animatronic shark, and they brought the shark out and into the bay, and it sank to the bottom.
Yeah.
So they went back and made it again and brought it out, and it sank to the bottom again.
Yeah.
So they had to do all these effects without the shark, and
Yeah.
kind of like hinting at shark and making waves, and it was like, which is awesome. It turned out awesome because you build the shark in your mind instead of on screen.
Absolutely, which makes it scarier in a lot of ways, right? Because part of the issue with shark is the unknown. You don't know what's underneath you, kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't see it until. We could have fun talking about movies all night. Maybe we should do that tonight.
Yeah, we should do one live stream that's all movie talk.
Yeah,
I don't know how to fit that into the context of Braindance Bushcraft, but
we could do that Bushcraft channel maybe.
Yeah. So Cozy Corner started the maple sugar yesterday. Nice. Quite the process, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious though what Jess was asking, like how much raw maple syrup or maple sap do you have to start with to get to a certain amount of
to get like a cup of sugar.
Exactly. So how much do you have to start with to get a cup of maple sugar? Is the question.
So if you think about it, maple is not an efficient process at all, right? You're 40 to 1 for the syrup. But like there are certain inventions that you look at and you think, yeah, okay, I understand. And then there are certain inventions that you look at and you think, wow, well, how the hell? And that's one of them. Like, was it accidental that they were boiling this stuff down 40 to 1 and got sugar? Like
Well,
how
no,
the
I don't. This probably wasn't accidental. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know for certain, but you take sap and you put it in stuff on. I don't know.
Yeah, me either.
But if you're using it in cooking at all, you notice it gets sweeter the more you boil it. So
Yeah.
just
So
keep
maybe it
boiling.
was just never give up, never surrender. One of my favorites. Wasn't that Galaxy Quest? Do I have that right? Never give up, never surrender.
Drawing a blank on that one.
Let me look it up because now I've got like a Grapthar's hammer quote stuck in my head.
Sam says 40 to 1. That's like
That's
maple
for the syrup. Yeah.
It changes based on the trees that you have available to you. It can be 40 to 1. It can also be 55 to 1 or more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Depends on the trees, and you boil it down until you get a specific gravity of your final fluid.
Yeah. I hadn't realized that there was that big a difference.
Yeah, there can be, and also if you can tap birch trees, and I think it's even worse than that. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, Galaxy Quest by Grapthar's hammer. Sam just wanted to make sure that we got the message, so he said it twice. But yes, Galaxy Quest was a great film too, in a lot of ways. So good. Now, what I will do with my that's what I wanted to say. What I'm going to do with my paper towels is I'm going to soak them. I'm going to pour water all over them and let them dry out that way outside because I am paranoid about burning down my house.
Oh.
In fact, maybe I will find the video where it was a real short video. And somebody just commented on it, actually. I'm just going to find it. So everybody just like nobody move for the next few minutes.
Well, I'm gonna put up something Scott said. Maple syrup or sugar would have been a First Nations thing. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know for sure. I wouldn't want to say because I don't know, but it sure sounds like it probably was.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure somebody can look it up. Somebody Wikipedia maple syrup will figure this out.
Right.
There, Kristen says Sean James made sugar, but I just watched Modern Self-Reliance. He had an episode to make the sugar. Yeah, I remember Sean James talking about making maple sugar. But that was like last year or the year before.
But like, what would you use maple sugar for instead of maple syrup?
Anything you would use normal sugar for.
Okay. I just used a slightly different flavor.
It's kind of like, using honey in place of, other sweeteners.
Yep. I got it. Okay, here we go. I found the video. Do you want me to just play it or no? Because for some reason I don't get sound when I just try to play it, right?
How long is the video? What's it about?
Yeah, it's burning boiled linseed oil. How short is the video?
Kind of like like, don't do it.
Yeah. Let me just see. Non-skippable ad. It is 1 minute and 32 seconds.
Do it.
Oh, crap. Yellow burning video. Nice typos, Jess.
Is that the one?
That's the one.
Okay.
You know, I can see if I can make it work and see if you guys can hear anything, but I'm afraid of... Like, remember last time I tried this, there was no sound?
Well, let me try it then.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever.
Sharing. How do I share something again?
Down at the bottom, plus share. Wait, I just stopped sharing a screen.
Oh, I got it.
Share screen. Window.
Yes, boiled. Here we go. Can you hear it?
I'm unsure.
Can you hear it?
Not very well, but because it's just a rain sound. No, I don't hear nothing.
Can anybody else hear it?
Did I just... Sorry. What the hell just happened there?
Can anybody else hear that? No sound.
Because
when we do it for...
Hold on. Let me try for a second here.
How does that work when we do narrative telephone then?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I have a button here that's mute screen audio, which I'm taking off. I shall now try to play, and let me know if you guys hear anything.
I can hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah. I mean, turn up the volume, but yeah.
Turn up the volume?
On that video.
Bump up the jam?
Don't turn it off. Now I can't hear it.
What you're seeing here
is the effects
of sort of an experiment that we decided to do. Yesterday, we put a lot of boiled linseed oil on a workbench that my buddy Robin and I were working on for him.
So can people hear this? I can hear it.
I can hear it. I just wanted to see how much truth there was to the fact
Well,
that if you punch up BLO rags, they'll... Can you guys hear this one? As they dry. And this is a cold day.
Yeah, so there's a setting there. What was the setting?
And as you can see, because there's no airflow in the actual bunched up down rags, below, it's starting to combust. The screen. So yes, there is truth.
Settings.
Where it's not even in settings. It was in the actual, like the screen below the screen where it says remove or share or whatever. This was a controlled experiment. Top right corner, there's a mute screen audio button. These rags and throwing them in the garbage.
I don't see that, but
so I did that in 2016, which is why it still has my drinking. Hold on a second.
What was that?
There we go. That was the advert. Okay, so I will remove that. So did you guys hear that? Yes, you hear it. Okay. So and why were we talking about that? Oh yeah, because I'm going to be just discarding my rags carefully. You don't want to burn your house down because you were using boiled linseed oil or tung oil. And in fact, somebody recently commented on that video that he did burn down his house by not discarding boiled linseed oil properly in his garage. So careful.
Yep.
Native Americans discovered syrup after throwing an axe at the tree. They made 3 types of sugar using the syrup. Dry maple syrup was much easier to store than liquid syrup. The benefit of the sugar over the syrup becomes clear.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it really does. Ugh. Excuse me. Well, I think it's funny that boiled linseed oil you gotta be careful with. Tongue oil you gotta be careful with. Mineral oil you don't really have to be careful with. And I wonder if it's because there are like chemicals in boiled linseed oil to help it dry, and maybe in tongue oil as well. Something like that, maybe.
I don't know.
I just don't know. It's a mystery. Absolutely.
I know you're closing this down, but Sam and Dave, are we doing a chat after this on Discord? We can.
Yeah, we're down to the last 4 minutes. We're gonna shut her down at 11. So if anyone has anything they want to say, get it in now, or forever hold your peace.
I take my spoon, put it back underneath my pillow.
Nice. Just in case of vampire attacks at night.
Yeah, wooden spoon vampires. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
Big Green Moose says, in summary, blog. It's funny because I tried to maintain a blog on my Rain Dance Bushcraft WordPress site, but it just took up too much of my time. Like time that could have been gone, that could have started again. Time that could have gone into making videos. So it's totally dormant right now.
A blog is a huge time commitment. I mean,
yeah.
And blogs aren't like YouTube videos where YouTube promotes your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to get your blog out there.
Absolutely. Shawnee says, don't pick up any wooden nickels. Absolutely
hey,
not.
Have you seen the Warcraft movie?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, not yet.
Based on the video game, and I think it might have came out in 2016.
Yeah, but I never saw it. Did you?
I saw it. I saw it a couple of days ago, and then I watched it again yesterday because I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting much, but I mean, and you shouldn't expect much from a fantasy movie like that. But
a video game movie, yeah,
it wasn't bad.
Good to know.
Check it out because I know you like fantasy stuff.
I do. I use sci-fi and fantasy as escapism when life gets to be too much. Like there'll be months where I don't pay any attention to sci-fi or fantasy, and then like everything gets too stressful, and I escape right down that rabbit hole. I just said rabbit hole. It's not how I meant for that to happen, but we understand each other.
Yep.
Okay, look, we're essentially at the end here. It's 1 minute to 11 on my clock. It's 2 minutes to 11 on my clock. I need new glasses. But that will give us just enough time for me to shut this thing down with style. So what I want to say is, again, if you guys have liked what you've seen tonight, then please feel free to slap that happy thumb for me on the way out. If you kind of didn't like it, that's okay. That's fine. Just, the other's thumb works fine too. If you want to take a more active role in supporting the channel, then the memberships are an option. If you click the join button below, that'll tell you what the 2 tiers get you. And aside from that, I massively appreciate all of you who've hung out with us till the bitter end, and those of you who hung out with us for a while. Between now and next week, please do me a favor and be healthy, be sane, be safe, and be kind to one another. Good night, everyone.
Peace out.